Welcome back to the office. I've encoded recipes into the calculator to see how many neutrons I need for the infinity chicken, and it's a lot. It's 20,000, almost 21,000 piles of neutrons. For that amount, I may as well just automate it properly. Like that's a lot of that's not a one-off cost. That's basically worth passiving. So let's start by making some antimatter. This seems relatively straightforward. I'm gonna craft myself an engraved thunder, and these summon lightning wherever the orb lands, so this should work for converting life essence into antimatter. This thing was very cheap to make. Very, very cheap to make. Hopefully this just works. So I've got a bunch of life essence here. I'm in the void world. I've made a disconnected little platform here because antimatter likes to spread, which by the way is not how antimatter works, but whatever. Antimatter likes to spread and convert everything that it touches into antimatter, so a gap is a good idea. I'm gonna place this here. Gonna... Ow. Not do that. There we go. So we got a bunch of antimatter here now. As soon as you break an antimatter block, all of the blocks get broken in sequence. But I'm after the liquid. So here's liquid antimatter. I can pick this up with a bucket because that makes perfect sense. Totally safe. Definitely 100% totally safe. And that completes this quest. Having it disconnected from the platform is absolutely required. But okay, so that's antimatter done. Now, for the ender chicken, I need to make an alchemical summoning altar. I need to get worms, shifting stars, devil dust, quantum eyes, and dragon eggs. And the dragon egg is consumed. Luckily, I had 4 pristine ender dragon matter from somewhere, probably this quest, which I've already converted into 16 dragon eggs, so they're sitting in storage. I'm also going to get an item collector and ender chest, so I can pick up the piles of neutrons, and I will see you on Aurelia. Okay, I've got all my stuff, and honestly, I don't expect this to go well, so we'll see how it goes, but don't expect this to go smoothly. Man, I wish I had night vision. Oh, that reminds me. I made an illumination wand. One for light, this is just nice to have. But second, it allows me to essentially ward blocks so that they become indestructible. The ender chicken apparently has a tendency to destroy everything around it, just like antimatter. Now, I don't know if warding a block, or illuminating a block, I guess, makes it indestructible from an antimatter perspective as well. I kind of doubt it, but we'll see, I guess. So what I've done here is I've just placed some light sources by right-clicking, but if I shift right-click, as you can see, the shading on this is different, and this is no longer something I can break. I can shift right-click again to undo it, but that's the general process. So I'm going to cover up this cave entrance first, actually. Okay, I'm going to build a structure somewhere here, and I'm going to ward the entire thing. Then I'm going to put some antimatter. You know what, let's test it out right now. So if I make a little basin here, kind of like this, where it's not touching anything else diagonally, and if I ward all of these blocks, so all of these are warded now. If I place antimatter in this, is this going to convert everything to antimatter? Let's find out. Yep, it is. And the antimatter can be broken. Okay, that's good to know. So, what this... Hello? What the fuck was that? Probably this fire dragon, I guess. Jesus, that was scary. Okay. Anyway, what I need to do now, I think, is... be free, antimatter. I'm gonna pick it up just to see. Oh, okay. That's kind of nice. If this doesn't dig itself to bedrock, then that's even better. Now, the ender chicken needs to be dissolved in the antimatter, which apparently doesn't actually mean it has to be in the antimatter. Silence, dragon. The CEO is speaking. So that is an option, to put the ender chicken into the antimatter, and then it will dissolve and it'll take damage, but it'll generate the neutrons. From my investigation, what I've found is if I put the ender chicken next to the antimatter but not touching it, it still counts. It's close enough that the game still thinks it's being dissolved, so it's going to generate the neutrons. But the problem is, the ender chicken shoots lasers and breaks its way out of containment. So that's what I'm hoping the illumination wand will help me with. And another problem is I don't know what the minimum valid distance is for it to be dissolved. Oh shit! Oh shit! But I'm gonna try and make a little cage for this ender chicken and hope that things go well. Chip right click. Chip right click. Did it really just wololo me? Oh my god. Oh, scared. Actually, it doesn't hurt. Oh, there's multiple. There are multiple chickens. They don't actually hurt, though. Okay, well, it's gone a little sideways. I can't tell whether it's able to break these warded blocks or not. So, yeah, I don't know. Well, on the plus side, it is making neutrons, and it's making a lot of neutrons. So this should pile up quite quickly. 20,000 is maybe not seeming like that much of a stretch anymore, but this has completely fucked up my plan here. So you can tell if a block is warded by if the tooltip has changed from the base mod to astral sorcery, like it has here, and the tool for mining it changes to no tool, like it has here. So these two are warded, they can't be destroyed. And I'm pretty sure I warded a lot of other stuff that has been destroyed, so I don't know, I'm not sure. Also, I did not expect this to spawn 3 chickens, so that's something else that kind of fucked me up. But it looks to be doable. I think I'm gonna have to mold the land here a little bit more to be more conducive to this kind of automation, but it should be doable. Once this last ender chicken dies, I'll try that out. The ender chicken drops a ton of XP, by the way. Let's see if I can do any better with this. Hopefully. So I haven't placed the antimatter yet. I want to get the chicken in place first, so let's see. Can't even reach it. Here. Okay, I need to get one of these into the actual... Man, I can't push them. That's rough. Okay, one of them is in. That's good. I need to deal with the other two. I'm gonna close in the one that's in here. And ward everything. Now, I do need to place my antimatter without touching any of these blocks. So I do need to be a bit careful, and I really need to get rid of these guys first, I think. They have a lot of health, huh? Gotta be an easier way to do this. I'm gonna try and put my antimatter underneath, like 2 blocks underneath, maybe here. Hopefully this works. I really hope it does. This way it can't spread upwards, it's never gonna touch that. Now, the question is this actually making neutrons? And I don't really know how to check. I guess I'll just wait. Oh, it's going up. Perfect. That could be because there's a genuine ender chicken in the antimatter. Doesn't look like it. So, okay, cool. Seems like this works. I'm gonna chunk load this and leave. And by leaving, hopefully they stop blasting things, and hopefully they don't touch this ender chest. And that is neutrons. I hope. Now, to continue on to the infinity chicken. I think I've decided on a slight change of plans. Because the neutrons don't seem to be that bad to get, I think I'm gonna instead try and get the infinity armor and Sword of the Cosmos instead of the Mantle of Stars. Just for fun. If I find that I need to do the Chaos Guardian before that, then okay, whatever, I'll go back and do it. Now, to make the infinity stuff, I need neutronium, which is a different type of neutronium. So in this pack, it doesn't really make a distinction. It just calls them both neutronium. But in GTNH, the black one is called cosmic neutronium, so that's what I'm going to call it from now on. This needs regular neutronium. And regular neutronium is made from the fluid, which is made in a fusion reactor. It seems like this is a Mark 1 recipe, but you need liquid americium, which is Mark 2. I also need liquid nequadria, which I think I can get nequadria from the NAC line, but if not, then it's actually a Mark 3 recipe, which is kind of painful, but that's fine. To actually finish the pack, though, I'm pretty sure I need Mark 3 fusion anyway. I guess I'm going to pivot back to fusion. I'm going to try and get Mark 1 fusion going. Now that my power situation has been mostly sorted out with the steam power from the photo fission thingy, I think I'm good to do that. Here in the It's All About Energy tab, there is a quest for making the fusion reactor, Mark 1, and I only need to make about half the materials, and it's going to give me the rest as a quest reward, so I'm going to do this quest. There are a few new items that need higher voltages, for example, the UH picks, so This is done in an LUV chem reactor with liquid Naquata. Ooh, now I think I can do this, but this has kind of inspired me. I kind of want to do the Naquata line. I don't know what to do first. I really don't. They're both things that need to happen, so... Okay, I'll just commit to this for now. I'll just do fusion as far as I can, and once I get stuck because of NAC line or something, then I'll do NAC line. So I need the UH picks. That's LUV cutting machine, LUV chem reactor, and liquid Naquata, which is fine. It also needs indium, tin, barium, titanium cuprate wire, which is an unnecessarily long name. This is the normal LUV superconductor. The TerraSteel is the FTB interaction specific LUV superconductor, so this is the usual one. All of these elements are pretty easy to get. IV field gens needs samarium iron arsenic oxide wire, also easy elements to get. Quantum processor mainframe, which has also just reminded me that I can actually make the multi-block circuit assembler now, so I probably should. But besides that, plutonium-241, I don't think I have any. No, I don't, and it seems the only way for me to get it right now is from plutonium-239, which in itself seems a bit difficult to get. So apparently there's plutonium-239 ores, but it doesn't seem to spawn anywhere. At least when I click this, it doesn't open anything. So I guess this is how I do it. That sounds really painful, but I only need one double plate. So I guess it's believable. That might genuinely be it. I might just have to centrifuge a ton of uranium. Okay, that's fine. And the superconducting coil block. This is easy to make, except, aha, it needs trinium. And trinium comes from trinium sulfide, which, okay, this means NAC line. NAC line happens first, and then fusion. NAC line I'm going to do on this side of the ore processing building. Hopefully this is enough space. It doesn't seem much longer than plat line, so I will start collecting some machines, and we'll take a look at NAC line together. Before we do that, though, I'm out of neutrons. Something has stopped the Ender Chicken from producing neutrons. And it seems like what's happened is it died. The cage is still here, but it's still dead, which tells me that dissolving it in antimatter still does damage to it, even though the antimatter's not touching it. And in fact, this is kind of funny, but I don't think antimatter hurts. I'm just walking in it and I'm fine. So that's pretty funny. Yeah, he's fine too. Not for long though. What this means is I need to somehow get the Ender Chicken that is in there to be regenerating. And there's a pretty easy way to do this with Astral, and it's with the ritual. Specifically, I need to use a rock crystal that's attuned to this one, aevitas. I don't remember if I have this constellation mapped yet, but it shouldn't be too difficult to get. I have one, but it's attuned to Visio, which, after looking it up, basically gives me flight in an area, which I don't really care about because I have nanosuit, so I already have flight. So I'm just going to use this one. It has perfect stats, so that's kind of nice. And in fact, I'm going to change some things around. Hopefully this is a good idea, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one out of the pedestal. This one is the Lucerna one. I'm going to attune this to aevitas, and I'm going to reattune the Visio one into Lucerna, because I still do have mobs spawning kind of at the edge of my base, so hopefully this change helps it out, makes the range a little bit bigger. If this doesn't help it at all, then I also have the option of getting celestial crystals now. They should be pretty easy to make. I can do it in the Sky Cauldron, or I can do it in World, so that's fine. But while I have these crystals, I may as well try to use them. This crystal has perfect stats, but this one doesn't, and I hope the one that doesn't is still good enough to keep the Ender Chicken alive. But alright, time for a quick little bit of Astral. I don't think I can reattune a crystal. I put this on here and let it sit for a long time and nothing happened. I guess I'll just make some celestial crystals, it's fine. And, you know, while I'm at it, I may as well upgrade to an iridescent altar. Why not? This needs a celestial crystal to get started, but that's fine. Everything else is basically free at this point. Making a celestial crystal is pretty easy. Just gotta throw in some stardust into some starlight and follow up with a rock crystal. Takes a little while, but it's going to replace this with a crystal gem cluster. Oh no, a celestial crystal cluster. And once this grows, I can break it and I can get my gem. Pretty easy, pretty chill. Gotta wait a bit, but that's fine. Could probably time in a bottle this. It's a bit weird to do that, but I have a lot of time to spend. Looks like this one is done. That was not the right move. Always wait for the sparkles, guys. Always wait for the sparkles. There we go. Each celestial crystal. 2 of them actually. 3 of them actually. 4 of them actually. 5 of them actually. That's probably pretty good for now. I'm gonna pick the best one out of all of these, which seems to be this one. And this is going to be my new Lucerna ritual. And then, I don't know, probably doesn't matter. This one, boom. This is going to be my aevitas ritual. And I'll use one of the others to make the iridescent altar. Yep, this time it's working, because it's like levitating in the air. Okay, so attuned crystals can't be reattuned quite so simply, if at all. This looks so cool, every time this looks so cool. Cool, this should be a much bigger anti-mob spawn range. Ooh, fancy one. This allows me to make the Mantle of Stars, and looking at it, this is really easy. I really should just do it, huh? The structure has now unformed because it's a different structure. I'll deal with that later. I have more pressing concerns. I just need to quickly get the stuff for another ritual pedestal, and then I can set it up on Aurelia. Okay, looks like it's working. This time I managed to get 2 ender chickens trapped in there. The third one fell into the cave somewhere. But this is good. I watched the health go back up once I turned this on, and it went up fast. And I have regen too. Like, this is pretty nice. They will melt for eternity. For my gain. See you next time.